What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Ebb and Flow podcast. Got a really special conversation for you today. It's with a new brother. His name is Matthew Vincent. Super inspiring dude. He's got an incredible book, an incredible movement called Not Dead Yet, which is the title of his first book. It's a coffee table book. So inspiring, man. This guy is doing some really incredible work. He's on the wave. He is a former Highland Games world champion, collegiate athlete. Like many of us, has walked a long path to get to where he is today of peeling back the layers, finding himself in life after sports, and just looking at who he is as a man, as a human being underneath it all. Loved this conversation, one of my all-time favorite conversations. I highly recommend you check out Matt on Instagram at Matthew P. Vincent. Check out his book. I mean, you just open it up to page one and you're just blasted with inspiration and insight. You feel like you're ready to run through a brick wall. Man, that's about all I've got to say on that. He's just an incredible dude. I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. Talk a lot about being really specific about what you want in life, how powerful that is. We talk about the importance of getting out of the all or nothing mindset and a whole lot more. I think you guys are going to enjoy this podcast. Before I send you off, this episode of the pod is brought to you by Quicksilver Scientific. I can't say enough good things about Quicksilver. They have truly been like family to me over the years, supporting me on my journey. The founder, Dr. Chris Shade, is an absolute brother. These are the best, most bioavailable adaptogenic products on the planet. You're talking about ginseng, ashwagandha, astragalus in their most potent form. Look, I played pro football. I experienced a lot of damage to my body and to my brain. And what that requires is a constant day-to-day management of the entire system. My favorite product of theirs is Longevity Elite. It helps me balance out my hormones, helps with brain function, helps me manage inflammation, all of these things that I need to keep in check as I age. And with the miles that I've got on my body through the injuries and concussions, etc., there's nothing better than Quicksilver Scientific. Check them out. Use code Ebb and Flow to get yourself 10% off your next order. That's about it, y'all. Enjoy this episode with Matthew Vincent. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. All right, what's up, y'all? We're back in the saddle here. Got a super epic guest, my dude, my new bro.
Yeah.
Matt Vincent.
Pleasure, man. I've been wanting to connect for a long time. I've been flirting with you online for a while and enjoying the content and
yeah,
more as I've been kind of, exploring different philosophies and kind of Eastern stuff. That's your cup of tea too. And so
definitely.
It all hits, man.
Yeah, man. No, I love it. I'm stoked for it. We talked about it the other day when we got to hang out and do a little sauna time, but it's one of the real blessings of social media, to connect with people who you really vibe with.
I mean, you can feel about social media however you want, but at the end of the day, I just look at that as so much user error.
Yeah.
It's for both. If it stresses you out, it's a reflection, right? All it does with the algorithm is shows you whatever you seem to want to pay more attention to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're pretty pre-wired to look at problems and threat detect. And so we pay more attention to those naturally than the things that make us happy. And so your algorithm reflects it. Unless you're really conscious about only things that make me feel better.
Yeah. That's a tough thing to do, man. It's because there's so many distractions. And a lot of it is really feeding on that fight or flight survival mode.
So I think that's something that's really easy to get bummed about, other than like that's so naturally biologically built into us after so many years of evolution.
Yeah.
And I shared that quote with you the other day that our brains evolved to keep us alive, not tell us the truth.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And I remember hearing a study a long time ago about like Howard Stern show whenever it came out and like was really popping. The people who loved it would listen on average for like 30 minutes a morning. And people who hated it would listen for 55. And like
that's hilarious.
That to me now, that like the main thing that's up for grabs, the only scarce commodity that companies and everything are going for is attention.
Yeah.
And we've shown time and time again as the consuming public that we will pay more attention to things that anger us than we will pay attention to things that make us happy.
Yeah.
Give me a fear-based reason of why I should purchase your thing, of how it's going to solve my problems, eliminate a pain point, do all this. And so all marketing goes that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a really great starting point for this conversation. I had an opening question that I wanted to throw at you, but we'll save it because I think this is such a good fundamental point of, I think, both of our journeys, is the process, the practices by which we have concentrated our energy, our mental focus in the direction of achieving things in our life. Even realizing ourselves as the people we want to be in our lives. And so I'd love for you to speak a little bit to what does it take in a world where your attention and your nervous system is constantly being co-opted or manipulated by external forces, which is just a part of the deal. It's the atmosphere. It's the environment that we find ourselves in the year 2025 in modern civilization, so it's not a fruitful cause to go, well, fuck that person, or point your finger, or, say
they're the
it's
problem,
their fault, or whatever the blame, wherever you want to throw the blame at. It's not a fruitful endeavor to do that. So I'd love for you to talk about what your process has been in concentrating your energy and your mental, your focus, your attention, and your awareness on the things that you really want to do in your lives, what that's taken, how difficult that's been for you at times, what are the processes or the practices by which you really have honed your energy and your skill at concentration and focus in the direction of your dreams.
Sure.
Because I think that's what it's all about to me, man. Like, we live in this really interesting time. It's an incredible time to be alive.
By far the best there's ever been.
The ancient Chinese curse to live in an interesting time. We're all here. We're doing it. It's incredible. We've got tools that have never been seen on the face of the planet before.
Right.
At our fingertips. And like you said, a lot of these tools are things that go either way. They can be for our greatest creation, they can be for our greatest destruction.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'd love to just start there, because I think that's something that you've really, as a guy who's a handful of years down the road, a little further than me, who really inspires me. I'd love to hear from you. Like, how have you done it, and what's worked for you?
Yeah, it's taken a lot of changing mindset, right? I've caught myself in the trap of make more money and that'll eliminate problems. And
which is a real thing too.
Look, it's very true. And I love what Naval talked about with money, saying that like money solves money problems. And there are money problems. But there is a certain amount where money doesn't solve the next set of problems. And so kind of figuring out what that looks like, and that's different from everyone, right? Like if your solving money problems needs to have a Lambo in the driveway, then you'll have different problems to solve versus for me, at some point, realizing that all I'm gaining is a shinier version of shit I already have. I already have a house that's comfortable and I love. I already have a vehicle that gets me where I want to go. I already have the space I want. Otherwise, I'm just creating shinier versions of that can end up really owning you.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden now you have this giant overhead to support all these things, and then you're trapped.
Yeah.
So trying to recognize that in myself with mistakes I've made in the past around where am I investing energy that isn't aligned with who I want to be.
Yeah.
Upon coming out of sports and having to kind of recalibrate of what future looks like post-injury, post those type of things, it took a long time to recalibrate the compass of like, what do I care about?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I could feel trapped in the supposed to care about.
Right.
Checking all the boxes like, I did all these things, so why aren't I happy? And it's like, it's not part of the deal.
Yeah, totally, man.
And so for me, kind of diving into different philosophies and stuff like that, I really dig the nihilist idea of, well, none of it's inherently important at the universal level. And so that makes everything a choice. I look at that Nietzsche quote of God is dead and we killed him. And it's terribly misused quote. But the idea is that, of course, we needed this guidepost for so long. But as we advance as a culture, and if we don't need that thing to keep the masses focused with purpose, then it's you have to choose the purpose.
Yeah.
And make a conscious decision about what you want and why you're so in love with it that solving any of the daily problems to get there are worth it. And so while on the universal level, nothing's inherently important. I mean, the sun's going to go supernova and eliminate the planet. None of this shit's going to matter at some point. And so I find a lot of freedom in the not mattering of things to where, well, then what's the risk of chasing what I'm really into? I only have so many years to do it. I may as well give it full gas and see what we can figure out and what we can experience. But it did take a lot of, what do I want? And
that's the question.
Yeah. So I've even come from, running an apparel company and being an entrepreneur and hosting podcasts and making YouTube videos and creating content for so long that at this point, my purpose is I want to create for a living. Anything that kind of helps me check that box, I will treat with honor of being my purpose. So whether that is writing a book, or it is making video, or it is occasionally making apparel, or it is one-on-one coaching with clients now around mindset, like I'm creating.
Yeah.
I'm helping them create their path. I'm getting to put new stuff out into the ether. And I think what an honor to get to do that for a living. Like that's probably one of the coolest jobs in human history that you get to try to participate in, is living as an artist in some way, right? That I'm trying to tap in and create.
Yeah.
So staying focused on that has required a different set of skills. Staying focused on that on like the day-to-day, while the universal, nothing's inherently important, the day-to-day, like individual approach, everything's important because I chose it.
Yeah.
And so staying focused with that, I use a very athletic approach of, oh man, there's no way to train one day a month for 10 hours and accomplish anything. Like I need consistency. I've got to show up every day and move the needle to create the adaptation I want.
Yeah.
So I stay focused with a vision board and different tactics. And then mindset wise, I've really implemented a big gratitude practice. One of those things that when things were low and my knee was all jacked, finding that, right? Like just gratitude, it's fucking everything. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's one of the, it's one of those words to me, like kindness, that's been co-opted as this cultural meme that starts to not mean anything.
Right. And believe me, I understand. 42-year-old guy with the wooden beads and talking about gratitude. I'm like, shit, shit, I'm that guy.
God damn it. Totally. But how powerful it is.
How powerful it is, right? Yeah. So the way I look at the gratitude practice is I'm just trying to eliminate the illusion of scarcity in my life.
Yeah. It's big for me.
And the gratitude practice for me is what I want is my peripheral vision to always be filled with gratitude. The individual problem I'm trying to solve that I get really dialed in on will become a mountain and me think it's the thing, the obstacle, the thing holding me back. But if I can zoom out a little bit, I can see the bigger picture and be like, yo, just solve the problem. It's not that big a deal. Everything's already great. So quit letting this thing be, well, if I don't do this, we're failing, we're messing up, we're doing any of this. So trying to install that gratitude practice, and what started as writing in a journal and doing 3 a day or whatever it starts is kind of a standard way.
You do that every day?
I did for a long time. What it's changed into now as me as an athlete and performance from that side of things, I've always kind of enjoyed. So have I ever done the 3 things in my journal and felt worse after? Never. I'm like, okay, so there's a positive benefit to these all the time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, what if I write for 5 minutes instead of 3 things? What if I just shotgun write as many things as I can think of that I'm grateful for in 5 minutes? And so over time, that's turned into the way I use my beads is part of my meditation. 3 times a day or so now, I sit and go through the whole mala of telling the universe and myself, thank you. And what it sounds like is, thank you, universe, for the hard days that got me here. Thanks for all the challenges that I've been able to overcome. Thanks for all the running water I've had access to. Thanks for all the warm beds I've ever slept in. Thanks for this body that's carried me through all the experiences I've got to have that have shaped me. Thanks my lungs. Thanks my heart for never asking me for a single thing, by the way. Just keeping this whole thing running. Thanks my gut health. Thanks for digestion. Thank you, my taste buds, or how my eyes interpret light waves, and I've been able to enjoy sunsets. I really try to spread it as atomic and granular as I can get it, but also as, dialed in too, to like, thank you for my wife and thank you for opportunity. And then all of that. And I say them out loud. And I think for me, that practice is a big one of a lot of the self-sabotage, destructive thoughts that are in my head. Like, man, I know no one's harder on me than me. And that's part of being a high performer. Like, congrats, you're your biggest critic. But if you're going to be your biggest critic, be your biggest fan too. And so using that, the critic voice very rarely gets out of me. It typically just lives internally. And it's connected to what I consider the autopilot. Like, I don't think about being shitty to myself. Sometimes I just am. Whereas I have to make the conscious decision to do the gratitude, to make sure I see all the great that's already around me still. Because why would I recognize it? It's not a threat. It's not a problem biologically. I wouldn't pay attention to it. So doing that practice and saying it out loud and putting more energy into the thought than, say, just having the thought, that I've got to apply calories to it in the form of moving my diaphragm and choosing a tone and being intentional with the words and moving it over my vocal cords and then releasing a wave to the universe. That is this positive thing.
And to your own nervous system, your own soul, your own heart.
Universe and me are all the same.
Exactly. If you just keep it internal, it's just bouncing around in the echo chamber. And I'm trying to make that place a lot more friendly. Totally, man.
And one of the things I noticed, though, is occasionally traveling or something, I'll sit and just, macrodose the gratitude. I don't have anything better to do on a flight, so I'll just sit there for an hour and just keep going through the beats.
Love that.
And typically when I end my practice, I try to kind of clap and do something to return back to being in the body present, take a couple breaths. And if I've ever done the longer practice of it, I can tell the autopilot in my head is still thinking of stuff. As I continue, I'm like, that's starting to get rewired. And so I want to rewire the base to see the gratitude, to see the abundance in my life. I mean, being able to have an awareness of that abundance that allows me to stay focused and chase goals and stay on my path. Like we originally started talking about, all of my problems stem from an abundance. Right. The fact that I have time to have an existential crisis means things are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not being hunted by anything.
Yeah.
I have time to be still. I'm not going to farm and have to, plow a field today or do any of those type of things. So I have time to wonder about like, what does life mean?
Uh-huh.
It means whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah.
And so I've really, really enjoyed trying to use that mindset of, why are we fat? Too much food? Too many food options? Not enough things to do? I look at abundance as a big chunk of where the problems we have. We're also really the first time in history that we're a culture dealing with it.
Yeah.
That we have food.
Yeah.
And so I ain't going to get beat by abundance.
It's a good way to look at it. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I love it, man. Do you ever get stuck?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do when you get stuck?
I try to zoom out. Try to zoom out a little bit because stuck usually ends up in a finite, singular problem I'm trying to deal with. And reminding myself and zooming out over what I can find as being true. True is I've never had a feeling that was permanent. So this will probably pass. So how do I not dwell in it any longer than need be and simply try to solve the problem? And I look at stuck as almost like indecision. And I think indecision's a bigger killer of dreams than bad decisions. I would rather do something and get feedback to make the next decision than get stuck.
It's interesting you say that because I've been doing this workshop with an old mentor of mine, and this week in the call, it talked about being at the crossroads. And in some spiritual traditions, they talk about at the crossroads, you meet the devil. And it has been interpreted that you can make a deal with the devil for your soul, basically, to get something. But really what's going on when you meet the devil is the devil convinces you why you don't need to change and gets you stuck in indecision.
Yeah.
And saying that the wrong decision is infinitely more problematic than no decision at all.
Right.
And in doing that, the devil actually doesn't have to give you anything. And in the end, actually ends up taking your soul.
Yeah, because you get owned and stuck in the same place, right? Yeah. I really love that analogy of it.
So just to what you're saying, I think that's such a powerful thing for people to recognize is just do it. Fucking Nike said it. I mean,
it's a great tagline, but
just do it. Just do something. Get into action.
I think with clients and stuff I work with, they get stuck in this, right? Like where I go to is if we can first recognize that whatever scenario we've created has only a binary solution, then it's fear-based thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if it's either
black or white.
I mean,
this way, that way.
Going through a divorce, 6 years ago, I can remember being in this space where my wife and I got along, my ex-wife and I got along, but we just didn't need to be married anymore. And wanted to go on different paths and things like that. And so I could find myself in that fear-based decision of, so either we're together forever or never speak again. Like those are the options. Those are it.
Yeah.
Like the same person we're talking about is either I'm together with and in love with forever or we're enemies. And that's based on what I've seen of divorce and
of course,
personal experience or any of that. But like, what a huge fear-based thing.
Yeah.
Instead of just recognizing that like, I'm letting fear make a decision, instead of what's the best way I can handle this with love and move forward.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I know staying here isn't the option. So trying to eliminate that scarcity of fear-based thinking, just even realizing that like, oh, if you only have two options on the table, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been a powerful one for me as well. Because I used to live in that, I think we all do at some point. Until you learn that there's infinite possibilities and open yourself up to that.
And a real infinite.
Yeah.
Like, who knows how this is going to go? That's the
who
point
am I to decide what it's going to be?
Alan Watts has a piece where he's talking about this idea that you would go to sleep and every night you would dream and have this full 75 years of life play out exactly how you want it to. So how many nights would it be before you got bored to say, like, I need something random to pop up here, like part of the ride, you know?
Yeah.
And so kind of recognizing that lie that, well, if I want it to go how I want it to go, and having that assumption of how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And it's just not true. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Instead of having an expectation of the outcome, simply make the best decision I can and learn what I can from it. Damn sure don't double down on dumb, you know?
How would you define that, doubling down on dumb?
Oh man, the ego just hates being wrong.
Yeah.
And so in that binary decision making, right? That idea of, so like, let me think about it. So what's the real fear of why I don't want to make a decision? It's, if I make the wrong decision, I'm going to fuck this up. I'm going to become homeless, lose all my income, and then people won't love me. And that's really the path, like all the decisions I'm scared to take really go.
Yeah.
Is I'll disappoint everyone. I won't be lovable. I'm lost and alone, whatever.
Yeah.
And really being honest to go, like, you're hundreds of bad decisions away
from that.
Like, I have to blow through so many obvious red lights and stop signs to go to that really fear point. And I got that practice the first time from Tim Ferriss's like 4-Hour Work Week.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, write the fear. Write it out. What is it? What's the real thing of how this goes wrong? And at the end of it, his was more business based. And it was like, okay, so all that happens. My warehouse burns down, all my houses, properties we own burn down, my bank account gets emptied, I have zero. How long before I could create a positive income with the skills I have? That's under a month. And like owning that as like a knowing too of like confidence. Of like, one decision's not going to make or break it, nor is the one decision ever been the thing that flipped it over and been like, we made it. Now we have that giant spike and we're fully successful and we made the right call. Like, it's always been process. So why not eliminate any of that trappings of destination and just stick to the journey?
Dude, that's been so fundamental for me in my journey, is getting out of the illusion of there's a destination.
Oh, there.
Yeah. There's a place we're going. Even, 5 years ago, maybe less, right before my divorce, I felt like I was on top of the fucking world. Like, had it all figured out.
So this is post-playing?
Yeah. So this is like 3 years ago.
Okay, so you're done playing. Is this podcasting when you're doing stuff with Mike?
Maybe a little bit after that even.
Okay.
So it's probably like 21.
Okay.
Felt like
just before shit got real weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
I mean, we had come through COVID. I had really anchored into I'm doing my own podcast. I felt like I was on top of the fucking mountain, and then I went through my divorce, and a year later I was at maybe the lowest point I've ever been at in my entire life. And I'm looking back going, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Wait, dude, I was in the flow. What happened?
Yeah.
And it took me a couple years to realize of being in the cave, really. I had to go into the cave for a little while.
Same.
And it took me a couple years to look back and go, when I was at that point where I thought I was on top of the mountain, I was actually still living in this perceived illusion that I was getting somewhere. I don't know where that place was.
No, of course, but we're on the way.
I was like, I'm there. I'm going, bro. I'm going to dissolve into light. I'm going to be the guru in the white linens with followers kissing my feet. I don't know, man. It's going to be fucking cool, though. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, I'm still just a human being on this trip. And what I realized is coming out of that and coming back into the light of my life, really, out of the cave and back into the light, I realized, oh, yeah, the only place that I've ever been going is to a clearer, more pure version of myself where there's fewer and fewer veils of illusion clouding my perception of reality. That's the only destination. If we need to have a destination, that's the only place we're really ever going. So in that, I've just settled into this ever-present process of being as clear and as pure as I possibly can be. And in that, there's my daily practices. There's settling into, yeah, dude, I'm an artist, That's one of the reasons I love your book so much. And like, I want to create art. I want to create things, be it more books or podcasts, or just put more energy out into the ether that's me.
Yep.
So anyway, that's been because I spent a good amount of time really sitting in what happened there. Like, I did all this stuff, and none of it was what I thought it was going to be. None of it was, and I always use this great, one of my favorite pieces from the Bible is when Jesus gets baptized by John the Baptist. And John baptizes him. Jesus comes out of the water. The clouds part. God descends and says, "You are my beloved son with whom I am well pleased." Like, could you think of a greater destination? Right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then right from there, though, Spirit takes Jesus into the wilderness to be confronted by the devil. And so it's like the greatest possible destination that you could actually perceive of being acknowledged by God as his beloved son. And then right from there, you're back to the greatest challenge of your life.
Yeah. It's like that, the journey part, man. And that thing, like, I love that analogy of it. One is appreciating how temporary everything is.
Yeah.
The feeling, the moment, the being on top.
Yeah.
Riding the wave of life, right?
And
like, you
got
crests and troughs, man. They're both part of the deal.
Yeah. Feeling depressed, feeling down, feeling lost, all that stuff is also temporary.
But also, what better time to go confront the devil than after you got that big refill?
Yeah.
Then, like, I look at that, right, of instead of me thinking destination-wise about my life and, like, the direction or goals or any of that, I much more like it to setting the compass on a direction. I don't know the path. I don't know what's going to be on the path. I've never done this before. Having an assumption that I know how this is going to go, that's the trap. And so then just saying I'm committing to the path and I will solve whatever things get solved. Like, every time I commit to the path is the hero's journey. Going into the hero's journey for football for you, or podcasting, or post-divorce.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to think like it's a one hero's journey per life.
Yeah.
But like, no, there's the micro hero's journeys along the way too.
Yeah.
And that requires going into the unknown. And it requires meeting these new sages or wizards or whoever else to learn new skills from to slay the next dragon.
Yeah.
But heroes slay dragons, not dragon. And you keep trying to figure out new skills to stay on path. Yeah. So I don't get too locked in on like a destination anymore, like a GPS coordinate of there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go that way.
Yeah.
And if occasionally I need to cut left or cut right for a while, I can do so.
Yeah. How do you feel about in this conversation? Because I feel like so much of it, how do we avoid burnout? How do we avoid that feeling where, because I have had this experience over and over again. I had it in football as an athlete. I've had it in life after football, putting myself back together again on the healing journey, all the stuff that I've done, where I will get totally buried by my routines. And while I know the power and the importance of discipline, what's been even more important for me is learning how to be flexible.
Yeah.
And in that flexibility, which is still, this is still a work in progress for me, learning when to rest, learning when to take days off, learning when, okay, well, today's Monday, and on Mondays I do X, Y, and Z, but today I feel like X, Y, and Z is just like, fuck that. I don't want to do anything, have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do A, B, and C instead. Now I'm keeping myself in a practice that helps to continue to cultivate that harmony that I'm looking to feel, because look, dude, I'll speak for myself, and I'm sure that you have something to say about this. We've all had our vices, and we all know what it feels like when you dip into the vices to the extent where you start to feel those shitty feelings inside.
Sure.
And you start to feel that, like you said, the antithesis of the positivity that you feel after your gratitude practice. What's the antithesis of that? You went and watched some porn, jerked off, had a fucking night of drinking, whatever the thing is for you, dipped into your vices, and you come out the other side and you feel less than
gross.
you were.
Yeah,
right?
It would refill the same way the gratitude does, but to the opposite bucket.
Right. It goes into
it's low frequency behavior that I'm putting more intention time into. And so the universe is like, oh shit, they love this.
Yeah. So with that in mind, continuing to do the things that fill you up in the bucket that you want to be filling.
Right. So how do you avoid the burnout?
How do you just keep yourself, and it doesn't have to be, also, again, from my own experience, because as a fucking elite level athlete, you can get into this thing where it's got to be fucking 1,000 every day. But hey, man, maybe some days it's just 10. Maybe some days it's just plus 10,
So around burnout,
because
what I find with that is like, it's when I get too caught close on the actual like day-to-day thing and forgetting what does it serve.
Yeah.
And being able to zoom back out to what does this serve? And so even when it comes down to vices and my own thoughts around nothing's inherently right or wrong or good or bad, it's a chemical that I'm choosing to put in my body that has a reaction that's either aligned with who I want to be or not. And so it comes down to what's intention. Why am I doing the thing? Instead of just not the mechanism of the practice, but actually doing the practice becomes a lot more important than what it is you're doing or how long you do it. So returning back to being present to get rid of the anxiety feeling or depression, which tend to wear me down.
Yeah.
Connecting back to why I'm doing it. I'm trying to take care of myself so that I feel more in a place that I want to create or do any of these type of things. But overall, looking at it is the choice I'm making, is it for connection or disconnection? Am I using this thing to connect or disconnect? Because even my healthy practices around going to train or getting in the cold plunge or using the sauna or writing in my journal or doing any of this, they can become distractions too.
Totally.
And I'm totally just jerking off, avoiding doing the thing that would actually help me. It's like, well, I'm not quite ready yet. Maybe another round of sauna will get it going. Like, it's just might as well go jerk off. So recognizing that first, like, what are we doing? just being honest with myself to be like, what are we doing? And burnout, I find, can come from just getting stuck that it has to be that all or nothing.
Yeah.
That it has to look this intense 10 out of 10 David Goggins fucking grind it down all the time, instead of The 4 Agreements was a really good book for me, man. And
so important,
dude,
for me.
I've read it multiple times a year, and I'll stop reading it on a regular basis when I stop being able to mine gold from it.
Yeah.
And
Such
still
a good
there.
one.
And so a lot of times for me is if I'm out of alignment and I don't like kind of how I feel, I can typically look at and say, which of those rules am I breaking? Those are my base foundational rules for staying in alignment. Am I assuming I know how this would go and I'm frustrated that it didn't? Am I taking things personal? Is this not working out because of rah, 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 rah? How dare this thing? Am I doing my best? Not my all-time best. What's the best you can give me today? Because how I perform today is ultimately what changes the path. So just focusing on giving today my best instead of worrying about it. If I'm not perfect in this over the next 90 days, and I've got a trip coming up in 3 weeks, so I may as well not do anything yet. We'll wait to get started. Like, fuck, man, that's the trap.
Yeah.
And so just doing the best you can, if that's 10 push-ups in the morning and a couple minutes to breathe and just say thank you, great.
Yeah.
And other days when I can full-fledged blow it out and take care of myself for a couple hours and do my full routine, great.
Yeah.
So first and foremost for eliminating burnout for me using those things is like I've got a morning routine that I really like where I typically do about an hour of cardio, watch something interesting is kind of, if I'm inside, watch something or listen to something thought-provoking on a subject I'm at least curious about. Because I find curiosity leads to flow state, new thoughts, and everything else. So does novelty.
Yeah.
And we need a bit of that too.
Yeah.
And so doing that, following up with the sauna and some gratitude and a little bit of writing and then cold plunge, and then I'm at my desk ready to rip. If I don't have all that, like, man, I can do some push-ups and I can breathe for a minute and get started. I mean, is it the same caliber? No.
Yeah.
But it's something.
Yeah.
So using that kind of practice and doing it first. And I think that matters a lot because it's really easy to put yourself last on the things. But if you're an entrepreneur or a high performer or anything else, we have to at least admit you're your most important asset. So why wouldn't you treat you as your most important asset and take care of it the same way you don't just go and run F1 cars into the ground? They get fully taken apart after everything they do.
Right.
So if I'm not doing the maintenance, how can I expect to perform?
Yeah.
And doing it first thing in the morning puts me as a priority. I get it out of the way. It eliminates that bandwidth the rest of the day that, I didn't work out yet, or I didn't do this. And like, I know I ain't gonna in the afternoon. Like, that's a lie, man. I've done that before. I've told myself, like, we'll work out in the evening. No, we won't. I won't. I know better. Like, that guy's a fucking liar. That voice in your head, that sneaky fuck can't be trusted. So just acknowledge him and be like, yeah, I know. Oh, you don't want to get up? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't argue with him anymore. I just kind of acknowledge him like a little child.
Yeah.
We're going anyway, man.
Yeah.
So being able to, I think, really prioritize yourself. And I think that goes for a lot of people, man. Like waking up from a buzzing alarm clock and getting dressed and immediately into traffic and immediately to work or immediately to anything, like you're straight into reactionary all day.
Yeah.
And that thing rules you. That's getting owned by the circumstances around you that, there was traffic and now I'm in a bad mood. Instead of taking that time in the morning and recalibrating and making me a priority as I am and giving myself whatever I can. I hear clients with young kids becomes the morning routine problem of like, they're up earlier this and that. I'm like, you don't have time for push-ups and breathing?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, do something.
Yeah.
Go outside for a 5-minute walk and just calibrate.
Yeah.
Take some time to be to warm up before you're asking yourself to perform tasks all day. Otherwise, you're just thrown into reactionary mode all day.
Yeah.
Which puts us in fight or flight and
yeah.
not making great decisions.
Yeah.
So I think just trying to eliminate the fear-based side of the thinking from using those practices to recalibrate in the morning and know why I'm doing the things, what's the intentions of today, like what are we moving toward, and why am I in love with that? I may not be in love with the task, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't love training every day. I wanted to become a world champion.
Yeah.
So, more importantly, what I really wanted was to be able to perform when it counts.
Yeah.
And so that's the practice, is like, I can perform when it counts. If not, if you just get the results, whether that's people that extreme weight loss or do any of these other type of things, you don't have the ability to hold it once you get the destination. Like, it's a false thing. It's winning the lottery and then going broke again. You know, you can have poor people win the lottery and go back to being poor, and you have really rich people become bankrupt and they become rich again.
Yeah.
You know, it's knowing whatever the long-term movement is. You know, if you didn't earn the thing, you don't have the ability to hold it.
Well, that's an interesting one, because to me, how much of that do you feel is about the paradigm that one is living in? You know, you're living in that scarcity paradigm. You're living in the prosperity paradigm.
But what I think is that's a choice. Like, that has to be a conscious decision to see reality how you want to see it. So that back to perception kind of being, you know, our perception of our world dictates our world.
Right.
And I do notice that I am in control of my perception. Therefore, I'm in control of my reality.
Well, how much work would you say you've done on adjusting the programming behind the perception?
A lot.
Yeah.
So, a lot. Yeah. One, realizing that I'm actually the one perceiving.
Right.
You know, so I do think that there takes some time to actually move yourself into somewhat of an observer role of your feelings instead of, you know, realizing like I ain't those.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the prerequisite to perceiving reality the way you want it to be requires getting really honest about where you're at right here, right now.
And overall, what do you want more of in your life?
Right.
Like knowing where the compass is pointing.
And if you find yourself going, I'm a piece of shit, I don't have what it takes, I don't have the time, going, wait a minute, dude. Those are, as you said, I'm deciding that is the reality. Nobody's telling me, holding a gun to my head saying, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Now that can be built-in patterns and triggers from a number of things, right?
Yeah,
like
100%.
What we do know for sure is the unconscious decisions I made in my life, or even say the built-in shit of like where my family was born, what year I was born in, what their financial thing was, their education, their exposure to religion, what that religion was, how strict things were. Like all of this has a giant impact on us, whether we want it or not.
100%.
A lot of it good, a lot of it bad.
Yeah.
But none of it's like hard line has to be.
Yeah.
But it does take over the subconscious in that that's how I perceive things. If I'm not enough, then I'm never enough. So I have to rewire that feeling around like, well, what does enough mean? Or for me, the big one would be having a client or someone reach out that's like, well, I want to be a better father or a better husband. Those times I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean better? I need you to decide and define better instead of this just global loose concept of better. Are you playing better by other people's rules and like the standard metrics of society deciding equaling this much money, or your house needs to look like this, or vacations or freedom or material things? Or is it perception of other people that you're really concerned with making the decisions for you? Or do you decide for you and take the full accountability?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm dead at the end of the ride. So like, what's the risk in fucking playing it the way I want to?
Yeah. So much, dude, this is so awesome. And things that are really coming out for me are getting out of the all or nothing.
Yeah.
The all or nothing.
It's such a lie.
Illusion.
It's just such a fucking lie.
Yeah.
That like consistency is so much more important than intensity.
Yeah. Consistency is that's the key.
Yep.
And then the power of specificity. Even you talking about your gratitude practice.
Right.
You know, because again, gratitude being this thing that's just been thrown around and totally lost its meaning in the cultural.
Yeah, it's a real fun buzzy word.
You know,
look, I'm glad it's one of the buzzy words, I suppose. But
no, it's good. But it being thrown around the way it is, like, oh, just get into gratitude. Well, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Yeah. And you talking about your gratitude practice of getting fucking super molecular, granular with what am I actually grateful for? I'm grateful for my heart that beats in my chest, doesn't ask me for a fucking thing, dude. Just keeps the whole thing rolling.
Yo, my body's never asked me to help it heal. like a cut. It just handles it.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, man.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
So powerful, man. So the specificity and the specificity of what you want, you know, you're saying you want to be better. What the fuck does that mean?
So using the gratitude practice too, I've kind of devised it now in a few different ways as you get better at things and start playing with it a little differently, right? So I use it in that kind of base peripheral gratitude building of like, I just want to see as much of the world as amazing as it is all the time. Fuck that I'm stuck in traffic. How cool is it that we have cars? Right? Like
totally
dial back.
Totally, bro.
Right? I can drive 12 hours in my van in a comfortable position in climate control. Like this is a journey that 150 years ago would have been really terrifying.
Yeah, totally, dude.
And so being able to use it for that peripheral gratitude, that being able to see all the abundance. I also use it in this like catch method. So what I recognize is most of my bad habits or patterns or triggers or any of that, they're on the autopilot and I fall into them without noticing. Whether that's jumping into doom scrolling or clicking on porn or being a dick about something or just avoiding things or starting to talk shit to myself.
Yeah.
As soon as I can catch I'm doing it because I'm not mad it happened.
Right.
That's on the autopilot. If I could fix that, I would, but that's not how the autopilot works. It was triggered. And so at least I have to, as soon as I can catch like, oh shit, I'm doing a thing that isn't aligned with who I really want to be. And then instead of guilt and shame and then hiding and shitting on myself for a few weeks until I come back around to trying again, immediately go into thanks for noticing that we don't have to do that anymore. Thanks for choosing something different. Thanks for being a conscious decision maker. Thanks for forming new habits. Thanks for getting back on path sooner and not wasting any more time. And so if I really want progress and consistency is the thing, I don't have to eliminate the fuck ups. I just have to eliminate how long I choose to stay in them. Because instead of, say, if I fuck one thing up a month and have 12 fuck ups this month, instead of each one then costing me a week on the backside of the mistake, I just have 10 days instead of 120. Right? So that is a big one.
Yeah.
Going
really
straight
powerful.
into the gratitude there.
Yeah.
The other one is like, man, if things are vibrating high and I'm doing things I love, sitting in the sauna, I'm taking care of myself, and I have those moments of gratitude of like, oh shit, like everything's good. That's where I go into manifesting. And man, what another abused
term. Yeah.
But that's where I'll jump into and, thank you for all the clients that show up and work with me. Thank you for the opportunities that I didn't even know were available. Thanks for continuing to create the life we want. Thanks for all the freedom that we have. Thanks for the health and being able to live a long life that's filled with things I want to do. So I start making sure that I throw those that I want coming, even to like, thanks for the $100,000. Thanks for being specific. And I think at least then I'm telling the universe, like, I'm going that way. I don't know how we get there. I've never done that before, so I'm eliminating that part.
Yeah.
I'm going that way and it takes as long as it takes. I remove the expectation of like, what has to be in 6 weeks? I have to be able to fix my whole life in 6 weeks or it's not worth doing. Like, well, you're going to be around for like 30 more years. Like, why not just slowly make the transition?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it takes a lot of practice, man.
Yeah. Well, I think that right there, if you can elaborate a little bit, I talk about it all the time, because we think that it's like thinking you're going to go to the gym one time.
Doesn't work.
And you're going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger's biceps. It's like, it doesn't work.
If someone reaches out to me and they're like, man, I need to go to the gym, what do you think workout I should do? I'm like, whatever that'll get you to the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah, totally.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
If I can't get you to the gym, I don't care about your bench sets.
Yeah, who cares?
Right. It's not important at this point. Yeah, we spend so much time in this like very granular, like, I think West Side is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you haven't been to the gym in 2 months. Like, just go walk.
Just go have fun, dude. Yeah.
Holy shit, God forbid.
Yeah. That's something that's been here for me. It's been so just something I'm thinking about a lot is, dude, remember to have fun. We take ourselves way too seriously. It becomes this thing. It's always a test.
Well, fun's flow state.
Yeah, bro. All the good shit comes from fun and joy and just remembering to play, dude. Fuck.
Remembering to play, being present, being in that flow for sure.
How do you feel about, because this is something I've been working with a lot for a while now. And again, as you work these concepts in your life, you work a program in your life, it evolves and it grows and you gain experience and you see how it works. And, talking about creation and God, the universe, for me, I used to say I'm co-creating my life with God.
Okay.
But that's really changed in the last few years in particular, where there's no co-creation. It's me creating.
Yeah.
God's going to give me whatever I want. The universe, whatever you want to call it, I like to call it God. God is an immense creative force that's just going to provide for you whatever it is you want, dude. So what do you want? Going back to that question, getting really specific about what you want, because if you're constantly living in the vibration of, whether you know it or not, living in the vibration of scarcity or I'm not enough, God's going to give you that. Bro, I love you. Here you go.
I heard it said like, it doesn't know your preferences. It just knows the order. So like if you keep ordering a donut with pistachios on it and you're allergic to pistachios, the fucking guy serving it to you doesn't know any better.
Yeah, totally. But he's like, hey, bro, this is what you ordered.
At least what I can tell is
100%.
Why would you spend your time doing things you don't like? And wherever you're choosing to take action tells me really what you prioritize.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. So getting out of, because again, like you going back to that Nietzsche quote and the idea of God and what that's meant for humanity throughout the centuries and the evolving concept of God. God for a lot of people becomes this Santa Claus in the sky that is something we're beholden to, or, oh God, if I'm a good boy, you'll give me X, Y, and Z. And it's yet another thing to externalize responsibility outside of yourself, which to me, going back to you becoming the creator of your life and perceiving and living the reality that you want to live, comes down to, first and foremost, taking total accountability and being really honest about what the fuck is here, right now. Like, how does it look? Do I like how it looks? If I don't, it's on me. It's about the choices and decisions I'm making. So I can't point any finger outside of myself, but right here back at this being right here going, okay, so if I don't like how it looks, what do I need to change?
The other side of that rarely gets practiced too, and like I love radical accountability across the board. It's all on you.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm going to be able to handle the accountability. If things aren't going the way I want them to go, that's on me. Mm-hmm. But also, how often do I say congratulations and thank you for how much is going the way that I want it to? Because if I'm going to take the weight of responsibility for all the fuck ups and all the mistakes and what isn't the way I want it, then all the wins are mine too.
Yeah. Such a good point.
And that builds that confidence and self-trust and paying more attention to that side than I do the other.
Yeah. You got to celebrate the wins, man.
You have to.
You have to.
And at this point, especially like back with the gratitude practice of celebrating wins, I don't give a shit on the size of win. My wins aren't competing. My wins are a body of work that I'm accumulating through the entire course of my life.
Love that, dude.
And so like the one of the ways I track progress is I've got a vision board with sticky notes on it, and I break it down into like macro goals and micro goals. And the one area of the board that I have is this evidence of progress. So anything that I do that moves a sticky note, that moves me toward one of my goals, goes over there.
I love that.
So I want to see this accumulation of progress.
I love it.
Hermosi quote that I really liked. It's like, you're not the affirmations you say in the mirror. You're the evidence of progress that undeniably tells the world you are who you say you are. And so that helps me eliminate that feeling of like, we're not getting any of these done fast enough. And it's like, keep moving fucking sticky notes. Keep putting them over here. And eventually we get it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, some days, man, it's drank a gallon of water today.
Yeah.
5 minutes of breath. Like, I don't care the size of it. Some of it is published a book or bought a van.
Yeah.
But some days it's installed lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care what the size of it is as long as we are making progress.
Yeah.
You know, and on the God, source, universe, whatever it is approach. For me, the God energy is, I mean, ultimately what? The power to create.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And
100.
So more on the Buddhist concept of there not being this deity figure. And that I look at that power to create, like that's the divine that's in us. Is simply that. Whether or not you choose to use it is user error.
Yeah.
But that's what I think's the magic. And so like, I have to be the creator. I have to know what I want to create. I have to learn how to create it. I have to build skills to do all of it.
Yeah.
And I think like, that's the honor of having a consciousness that we get to choose.
Yeah.
For one of the first times in human history that we're kind of allowed to do that.
Yeah. Well, going back to your, an earlier point you made, we have the time.
Right.
Yeah, we have the security.
There's no other time in human history I'm trying to go back to, man.
Yeah, dude. It was fucking hard, bro.
No, I get to hang out with someone and have a conversation in an air-conditioned room. Like, this is a pretty good day.
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, man. So good, bro. One of the questions, shout out to my dude, John Kim, the angry therapist. You ever heard of this guy? Yeah, he's awesome. I did a pod with him, and he opened the podcast up with asking me, what do you know about yourself today that you didn't know a year ago? And I thought that was a genius question.
Ooh.
I was going to open it with that, but I think closing it is almost just as good with that question.
What do I know about myself today that I didn't know about myself a year ago?
Yeah.
Man, that would change if you break it to like 5 and then 10. That's kind of a really fun journaling practice.
Yeah.
I have another question I'll throw at you at the end as kind of an interesting introspective question. This one, I'm capable of so much more than I thought I could do. And that keeps showing up. Yeah. I mean, from going to do track and field in college and not quite being good enough. Like, no one goes into the Highland Games because they could have gone to the Olympics. Like, it's a second tier sport, man. And so doing that, but winning a world championship and then starting an apparel company after I had failed as an entrepreneur first, trying to run like a bicycle shop.
Oh, interesting.
And so like every one of these has always been something like, we tried in the past. And it's like, we figured it out again. We have new skills. I have such an ability to learn that I didn't think I did for a long time. And I don't know if that would be a year ago. But specifically to a year ago, I'm a lot more proud of myself.
Love that.
yeah, than I probably ever have been. I think really leaning into that radical accountability of a lot of stuff I can write off as luck. And like, man, it's a good thing I started that when I did, or it's a good thing I did this. And
I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's luck, man.
I don't either.
It's the decisions
I don't believe
that's
made, either. I think there's some glad things lined up the way you do, but also you don't find yourself in the luck's opportunity meets preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been a lot more scared to risk and try things. And that continues to change every year of, like, I just don't see the risk anymore. I've fucking failed a ton. Believing that failure is a inhibitor of success would be incorrect. Like, I think most success is fucking paved with failure, just tinier ones. You either microdose the discomfort on a daily basis to have the macro dose be a positive. If I microdose discomfort by training every day and managing my diet, my macro dose is being healthy and liking the way I look. If I microdose comfort and giving into snacks, macro doses, I fucking die sooner. So, choose whichever one you really are into. That's another. I'm gonna have to contemplate that one a lot.
Man.
That's a really good one. The one that I would throw at you is, what are the 3 biggest misconceptions people have about you? And why are they right?
That's a good one. That'll take some time.
Yeah, that one's a fun one to dig into. And I was like, that doesn't make me feel good. Just straight stare into the shadow.
Well, one that came up in my head the other day, actually, I think it was yesterday. I was thinking that people may have the misconception that I may come across as being too good for them. And that's why they don't invite me to things, or they don't include me in things. And they may be right because of how I tend to isolate myself, and in the old paradigm of resenting the cool kids club.
Sure.
Even though I've been in the cool kids club so many times.
Yeah, basically forever.
And it's like, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I don't know what came up. It was like, why haven't I been on that dude's podcast? Or why haven't I been invited to that guy's podcast? And I was like, well, maybe it's because he thinks you think you're too good for it.
Oh, what an interesting puzzle to try to figure out what they think.
Yeah.
What a fruitless waste of...
I know.
One would be like, have you ever just sent them a message?
But what was good, to your point though, what was good was it really had me reflect and go, well, maybe I've shown that to them. Maybe in how I've interacted with them, I've shown them that I'm not a team player. I'm not a guy that they want, or that they feel like.
Well, perception's reality.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, there's some people in my life that I'm the fucking bad guy, man. And I know I'm not that. But also their story isn't incorrect.
Yeah. And I think it is a really powerful thing to hone your ability, your capacity to be the bad guy in somebody else's story. Because sometimes, dude, that's part of the deal.
Part of the deal.
And you being a bad guy in somebody else's story maybe is the fucking it's the little nudge or the little nick that they needed to get to where they need to go.
Yeah.
So,
that what you said around, maybe they have a perception that I'm too good for whatever. Mine's always gone an interesting way. So like mine has always been, I've been welcomed in plenty of the cool kids club.
Yeah.
But also I would always look at it like, I'm not like first tier invite to the cool kids club, I guess would be the way I would say it. And so like my own personal insecurity around that is like, oh, you're not interesting enough. Because what I can recognize is that person spends time with people they find interesting. And they don't spend time with you you're not interesting. And like, that's been one that I really had to sort through.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
No, they're just busy. They're not thinking about me at all.
Yeah, totally. That has nothing to do with
what
me.
they're probably doing is wondering the same shit about some other group of people.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You know, trying to catch myself in like, what are you assuming? Am I assuming that you have an idea of what they think? And also, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They think whatever they want.
Yeah, dude.
But
what you think of me is not my problem.
No.
It has nothing to do with me. It's none of my business.
You know very little about me.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme.
Yeah, dude. It's a total fruitless endeavor.
Yeah, but we can catch ourselves in it.
Yeah.
You know, any number of times.
For sure.
Why am I not involved in this or invited or, well, they're inviting people to speak and like I speak.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, that's a huge one. Like, wait, why is so-and-so getting, asked and paid to go and speak at this event and I'm not? Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, it's easy, man. It's easy to get there.
What I think is important about this, though, is, we live in this world of all the spiritual gurus and the spiritual influencers on social media telling you, like, if you're not doing this, you're not doing that, or if you're still feeling this, you're not good enough. And it's like, dude, we are never going to game ourselves out of the system of being a human.
What I really struggle with is most of those people still selling on like the scarcity thing.
Yeah, bro.
For me, and it's been a rule that I've made with social media and content creation since jump, whether that's been with YouTube or it's been my own thing or anything else, it is, I'm never going to try to shine light on mine by shitting on someone else's.
Yeah.
I can just not like it quietly.
Yeah. 100%.
I can just never shine any light that way.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, well, you can see they're doing this incorrectly. Like, what a waste of my time.
Yeah, dude.
Or I don't want to tell people what not to do. I would rather try to give the examples and walk the walk of an alternate way.
Yeah.
And overall, be who the fuck I say I am.
And in the grand scheme of self-realization, if you're giving attention to what you don't want to do, energy is going in that direction.
So like I look at it like
it's so simple.
If the universe was watching me, like from some third perspective, like a Sims character, and like doesn't hear what I think, it doesn't know what I'm saying, but it just sees my actions all day, and then it bases those off of like, well, that's what they do all day. That must be their priorities. Like, you wouldn't just spend all day doing shit you hate.
Yeah.
Yet, meanwhile, people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like, well, they love doing that. Like, we'll just send more things to be frustrated about.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to your perception of reality being based on what do you believe is true? And how are you living? How are you acting? How are you deciding? How are you choosing?
Now, how do I handle struggle?
Yeah.
How do I handle getting scared or losing something or something not going the way I want it to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's unavoidable.
Exactly.
And if I try to pick a path that avoids that, I just essentially eliminate any path.
Yeah. Man, what a treat, dude.
I'm really excited about reading your book, man.
Yeah, man. Brought you a copy of The Ebb and Flow, Basic Tools to Transform Your Life. I want to give you a shout out. Guys,
thanks,
this
man.
book right here, I'll have it in the show notes. Not Dead Yet. This is Matt's book, A Handbook for the Living. Yeah, please. It's just super inspiring, man. It's 52 journal entries.
It's really digestible.
Yeah, it's super digestible. I mean, dude, just read the intro and you feel like you're ready to run through a brick wall, honestly. And then it's paired with these incredible photographs that you've taken on your travels. Dude, I mean, so inspiring.
Oh, man, Earth is incredible. I get to explore basically none of the universe. Like, this is it. Like, I get this one, like, this is it. Just pretty this planet one. And like a short window of time to do it in. I'm going.
Yeah.
I want to see as much of it and experience as much of it as I can. And then that shapes perspective and I get a different view on things. Yeah. I mean, even, man, in the last couple of years of working with Fight for the Forgotten and being in Uganda on those projects. And I mean, how many people do mission trips and things like that. And so like, I get it, but like, I don't have problems.
Yeah.
I have inconvenience. I have pains in the ass, but most of me are, all of solving those things accelerates my life to a better place. They're not survival. I don't have any survival threats.
Yep.
That's not true globally.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found really interesting with the Batois, so being over there, we're talking about people that don't have much of anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, every day they sing and dance as a community. And it ain't for us. It ain't a show.
Right.
But because things are so simple, along the hierarchy of needs of like food, water, shelter, and then where we try in the West is to go food, water, shelter straight to self-actualization and skip over the community, belonging, and love. They've got community, belonging, and love on fucking droves because like everyone's valuable. We need firewood. Like I don't need as much help from my neighbors because I don't have those problems to solve.
Yeah.
But when you're back at that base level, community is really important because like we need hands and people, and like I've got to work on the crop and someone's got to go grab the water and someone's got to get firewood so we can boil the water. And so like everyone's useful again.
Yeah.
Whereas I run into lots of people that can't really help me solve problems on my journey at this point. But what a great place to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But community, belonging, and love are still very, very important.
Yeah.
And so what an advantage then to be really conscious in choosing the community environment that are ultimately going to shape me the way it did in the first early chapters of my life. If I'm aware that it's going to shape me when I'm not intentional about it, I should damn sure be intentional about it.
Yeah.
I should be intentional with what I consume.
Yeah.
Food, media, anything else.
Yeah.
I should be intentional with who I surround myself with.
Yeah. And that one, we got to go and we got to actively involve ourselves in that, just like everything else.
Look, it's why I'm here.
Yeah.
It's why I drive 12 hours to go spend time around peers and friends and go meet people.
Yeah.
Like I don't bank on anyone coming to me, and I damn sure at this point in my life, I don't keep score. I don't have some deal of like, well, I've been to visit them 3 times and they haven't been to see me. Like, what a fucking waste. Like,
dude.
One, I've just admitted like I'm going for me because I feel good being around the energy. I don't need it to come to me as well.
Yeah.
That's a bit greedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't keep score. The people I want to be around are busy. I don't keep score with my partner. I don't keep score.
Yeah. You got a great perspective, bro.
Thank you, man.
I love it, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I want to say, as someone as I've followed and love what you talk about, like that's as big of an honor to hear from a peer. So
yeah, dude, you're so inspiring to me. And I went home after our hang and talked to my lady. I'm like, we got to get a fucking RV or
yes.
we got to trick out a Sprinter. She's like, well, Eb, we're big people. So I don't know if a Sprinter's going to do it. I was like, all right, well, we'll get in fucking RV then.
RV, dude, if nothing else, use something like Outdoorsy and rent one.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, rent one and like go rent it in Salt Lake.
Okay.
Because then you have like all of southern Utah and Zion and Capitol Reef and like all these canyon lands. Like, go wander that with your RV.
All right.
And then decide like how into this am I.
We're literally planning a trip for next summer.
There you go.
So I'm going to hit you up.
Yeah, man. Happy.
We're thinking about doing like the California coast up into the Redwoods, come down through Yosemite and then
Joshua Tree and back out to like LA.
Yeah.
I've done that loop. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
I've done it on motorcycle. I've done it a couple times now.
Wow, dude. So anyway, man, you're the man. Really stoked that we finally got to connect. And
same, brother.
Dude.
Feel good making a friend.
Yeah, bro.
More than anything else.
Yeah, big time. And next year too, I want to plan to come to St. Louis, come to your event.
Yeah, the one in April.
Why don't, before we close it out, let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going on, because you got a lot of good stuff.
I have a lot of good stuff. Instagram is Matthew P. Vincent, the easiest probably way to find me. And then not dead yet _life is life coaching, mentorship, that mindset stuff I do. We host 2 men's retreats a year in St. Louis. We've got a big group retreat that we typically do up in Montana or somewhere like that. And then a mastermind event I've got in November. If anyone's interested in reaching out, mattvincent.net, or send me an email at matt@mattvincent.net.
Love it, bro.
Easy to get in touch with.
Check this guy out. He's the fucking real deal.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, bro. Seriously. And again, if nothing else, check out the book, Not Dead Yet, Handbook for the Living. It's insanely inspiring for anybody on the path of just looking to create the life of your dreams, man. Because I think we all deserve that. And, whatever you view as the obstacles to that, this dude has lived it, solved the problems, continues to solve those problems and meet those challenges. And like, what better than to just have an example of somebody who's been through it and gotten to the other side. So appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
really
man.
do. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. And we'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Take care.